Hi everybody, it's me Arden Lee. I am back with another video, and today's video is going to be about our bandwidth management. How do we, if we are living lives where we are juggling a lot of intentions at once, which I know a lot of us are, we want we want our improvement, our personal development to happen on all fronts. We want our personal lives to improve. We want our professional lives to improve. We want our friendships to improve. We want our finances to improve. And when you're doing this work on this sort of multidimensional level, as most of us are, there's this balance that comes into play where we move one thing and another thing shifts. If we're killing it in our career, we're absolutely slaying it out there, we're probably not going to want to date someone who is not treating us well, because we're naturally going to value our time, right? You see how that works? It's like, if I'm out there killing it, I'm naturally going to need to improve my relationships, because I'm going to know how valuable my time is, because I'm going to see the amount of return on investment that I get when I spend my time doing things that that further my career, that allow me to share my gifts with the world, that allow me to level up and receive energetic exchange, receive support for the things that I'm giving out there. So if I'm spending my time and energy on that front, then all of a sudden over here, I'm not going to be satisfied with the same sort of toxic dynamics or draining dynamics, or even just boring dynamics that I maybe used to be okay with before I started doing this work over here. So we're going to talk a little bit about, like, how do we keep all these plates spinning at once? And so you guys know, this is something that I touch on in a lot more detail in the Repatterning Project, which is the 8-week online course that I teach. We are enrolling now for this summer, 2019. We start June 30th, so there is less than a month to sign up. I'm so excited about it. We have so many cool people in the containers, so do reach out to me if you've been thinking about it. We are down to the wire, just a couple weeks left, so go ahead and reach out to me. Let's hop on a call and see if it's right for you. So this is something that I teach in much more depth when we get to that point in the Repatterning Project, and so I can't I can't fit everything into the kind of daily video that I am going to be doing today, but I want to be able to at least shed a little light, give you guys some of the first steps to looking at that, and then if you're interested, come join us, reach out to me. We'd love to have you. If you want some more information, check out the description box. I have a link to a free PDF guide about the Repatterning Project, and I also have a link to the Repatterning Parlor, which is the free Facebook group that I moderate, full of like-minded individuals who are looking to do this work. So go ahead and check those things out. Join us in the course. Say hi. We'd love to see you. All right, so as I was saying, our lives don't operate typically in these separate compartments, or if we're trying to get them to operate in these separate compartments, that's going to cause us some strain eventually. We might think, all right, we've got the job here, the relationship here, friendships here, creative work over here, but naturally, whenever you start to shift your relationship with one of those things, it's quite likely, as I sort of described before, that you're going to feel that desire to level up in other areas of your life as well. When your art levels up, for example, when your creative work levels up, you're going to want to level up your finances too. When I already explained where if your career levels up, if you're really stepping forward into your power, owning and sharing your gifts, you're not going to be attracted to someone who's not doing that anymore, right? Everything gets affected when you level up in one area. So start to take this into consideration. And you're going to want to start looking at which of these things is smartest for me to move first? If you do have intentions that are happening on a multidimensional level, if you're someone who is doing this work or drawn to these videos or this content because you really want to level up across the board, you know, something about the repatterning project that is pretty interesting to me is that it's really a base level meta skill set, right? We're talking about looking at our patterns and habits, figuring out how they form, and going back and rewiring them. And that can really apply to all areas of our life, you know? So there are certain people who teach courses where it's like super specific, they're dialed in one thing, you know, and what the repatterning project really is it's a comprehensive view of why we make the choices we make in life. It is the gateway access to infinite possibility, to being able to see exactly which pieces we have to move to get to the places that we want to get, right? So most of the people who are drawn to this work are drawn to it because they are seeking that repatterning in multiple areas of their lives. So when we start to look at this, we want to start to look at which piece needs to move first in order for the next piece to be set up to move even more easily. When you are holding space for multiple intentions, it's kind of like downloading a bunch of large files at the same time. If you click download on all of the files, they will all download very slowly. That's fine, that's a choice. If, however, you know that you need one file first to be able to start doing your other work, and then you can start downloading the others, then it makes more sense to get that file that you need first. So as we're doing this work, we constantly want to start checking back in with our bodies and saying, what is the next step? What is the next step? What makes more sense here? And just being able to visualize all the goals that you want to achieve for yourself, and then to start to think about which one is going to be the most useful to you in moving the other ones forward. I'll give you some examples. I think one of the reasons that I have put off relationships for the majority of the time that I've been on this journey is that why would I call in my soul-aligned partnership when I'm still leveling up? Why? Now, if you have a partner already, that's absolutely fine. If you meet someone and you know you're a yes to them in that moment, that's great too. But if I'm really setting an intention, I think one of the funniest things is that this whole journey, this whole path started with my setting an intention around relationships. At the end of 2015, I got out of a relationship that was damaging to me, and I looked at my responsibility for that, and I said, I don't want to do that ever again. I want to call in something that's actually going to be healthy and is actually going to work. And the funny thing about it is that here I am, having realized that in order to call in that partnership, wow, I had to really get right within myself. I had to really start to look at untangling any of my codependent patterning, any of the behaviors in me that were settling for behavior from my partners that was not healthy for me, where I was settling for relationships where I was doing the majority of the heavy lifting that took all of that energy and put it into my relationships and didn't put it on things like my career or my art, Part of this work for me was really examining that. So what did I do after that? I started saying, I'm going to take all of this energy that I used to put into my relationships and I'm going to put it into my band, because that's something that I really believe in. I really love music. It really feeds me on a soul level. It nourishes me to be able to perform and create and engage with my art in this way. So I'm going to start prioritizing that. So I did that. I figured out after I released my EP in 2018, so just over a year ago, I released my EP, Who Can You Trust? I was super thrilled about it because I had put so much work into its quality, into its marketing, into its publicity, um, and into its creativity, into the writing of it. As I'm on this trauma healing journey, so much of that is coming up for me, and I put it all into the music. So I created this piece of art out of the work that I was doing on myself to reverse my patterns. It's called Who Can You Trust for a reason, because I wanted to learn discernment. I wanted to learn to be able to tell who is going to be good for me or not, and I put it all into this album, and it came out, and I was thrilled about it. And then I realized, I was like, man, I've sunk everything that I have into this, and I could keep going about doing things the way that I'm doing with my finances, at about where they are, which was enough for me to create the EP, which gave me some luxury. Not everyone, I understand, can afford to fund and create their own music. It's I didn't pick a cheap profession, right? So, but I recognized, I was like, well, if I keep going at the rate that I'm going at, I could, release another EP in maybe another 2-3 years. And I said, I don't want to. I want to create at a higher level. I want to be able to release full-length albums. I want to be able to go on tour. So what does that mean? That means I really need to get my finances together, right? I need to be able to create something that is going to call in that kind of abundance for me, because I need to believe in my worthiness. I need to believe in the value of my gifts, that I have something that is worth offering in that regard. And that is why I created the Repatterning Project. I was like, after I went on my own trauma healing journey, and people who had been following my journey that I made transparent through my social media, through all my writing and my blogs, came forward and said, we would love to learn this from you. Would you consider putting this together in a course? And I said, yeah, absolutely. And and then it worked. I was so nervous the first time I did it. I offered it for only $497 because even that at the time was a stretch for me, because I was working on my limiting beliefs around my money. And I went ahead and I did that, and I got back some just amazing testimonials months later. People coming back and saying that they took this course, in the first incarnation and that I ever put it out in, for only $497, and it absolutely changed their lives and added so much value. There's someone who was dealing with suicidal ideation since they were 7 years old, and they said they took the course and they were like, no, I'm good. I want to live now. I'm not feeling suicidal ideation anymore, and as a result of that, I have more time and more confidence in myself to commit to the things that I really want to commit to. So I signed up for 4 times as many art shows as I did the year before. I just did an art show, and I made, in a single weekend, I made as much money from my art that I love making as I normally do in 2 months of my day job. You can't put a price on something like that. That's what we do here, right? Notice how this person in particular managed their bandwidth, right? Notice which plates they had spinning. Okay, first I need to figure out how to fix my inner workings so that I can get up in the morning and actually want to do things. And wow, now that I want to do things, I'm going to commit to actually putting those things into action. And what are my dreams? I want to be able to make a good living off of my art, so I'm going to commit to that now. I'm going to move forward. So this is part, like I said, this is like Inception, right? This is part of what I teach, and part of what this person was able to do for themselves because they committed to the work. So knowing the order in which you want to do things is a matter of taking that mindfulness and really just sitting with it and saying, which do I need to do first? So I'm at a point now where I've leveled up my business to a certain level, and it looks like I'm going to be able to fund my full-length album. I'm already over halfway there already. So, just sort of, taking the rest of this month and, to call in more of that abundance, to put everything aside. Everything is on track. And this past weekend, I went to an event where there was an offer for enrollment in a business mastermind. That was really something that that spoke to me on some levels, and it was maybe like 60% of the price that my full length album is going to cost me. So I was pretty much between, between my accounts, like I had I had the money. I could have signed up for it right there. And I was tempted, and I thought about it, and I was like, do I want to put off my album? Do I want to invest in a mastermind now and go down this road so that I'm, in 6 months' time, I won't have my full length album, but I will have an exponential amount of income from joining this mastermind with the intention of scaling my business, right? I believe in this. I've seen other people's results. I believe I could do it. But I checked in with myself and I was like, no, what I really want is I want my album next. That's the thing that is most present for me. Now, when I'm done funding my album, my business might still be at its current level. But then the next thing I'm going to be able to do is I'm going to say, oh, my album is done now. So I have that. So the next thing that I'm going to invest in is the mastermind so I can then scale my business, right? So for me, really sitting with it means acknowledging that, okay, the momentum of my music career is also important, right? I could put that off, but I don't want people to have forgotten about what I'm creating. I don't want to put, I'm writing the album now. It feels present. It feels relevant to what's going on in the world right now. I want to put it out. I want to have that done. So that's where I'm going to put my focus next. At the same time, if I weren't working on my business at all, I wouldn't be able to fund my full-length album, right? So it's like, how much growth do I need over on this plate that I'm spinning to make sure that I can get this plate in motion, right? And then I do that, and once that's done, then I go back to the other thing, right? Or I work on the next thing, whatever it is. I've also been calling in more openness around dating and relationships because I'm like, you know what? I am at a place where I'm pretty stable now, and I think that I can call in some pretty cool people. Now, is it going to be my soul-aligned partnership? Quite possibly, I'm going to make space for that, but I'm also going to make space in the meantime for fun and intimacy and emotional connection because I'm at a place now where even if I want to grow more before I call in that soul-aligned partnership, you know what? I do have enough space and enough bandwidth and enough stability that I can enjoy going out and spending time with people and calling in more fun and more dating and more play and more romance into my life. If I was doing that at a point where I was still on my trauma healing, I don't think that would have been the best use of my time because undoubtedly I would have still been calling in people who would have been triggering me or wouldn't have been the healthiest for me. Or even if I had called in someone who is healthy for me, I'm not sure I would have been healthy enough to engage in a way that would have been positive for both of us, right? It was necessary for me to take some time, let everything settle, learn my lessons, upgrade, right? Upgrade into my wholeness, my worthiness, the kind of vibration of the relationships that I'm going to want, right? And focus on that. So it's all about really looking and determining what do I need to move next that benefits all of my moving pieces together. And you can go through this line by line, you guys. You can write out all your intentions. It really just is a matter of bringing more conscious awareness to it. Maybe one day I'll learn a formula for this, right? Hey, if you're at this phase, focus on money. If you're at this phase, focus on your art. If you're at this phase, focus on relationships, maybe so. But really what I want to teach you is I don't want to just give you a formula to follow that may or may not be in alignment with your own needs and with what your heart is telling you. So what I really want to do is I want to give you that perspective and the ability to, as I said, list out your intentions, write down everything that you're looking to manifest, and then just start thinking, which of these is the most present for me right now? Which of these helps me do the other ones, right? Is it money, right? Is it art? Is my money stable enough that I can start to move and upgrade my art so that I start making more money from my art, right? Or do I need to start moving money first and making more money so that I can invest in upgrading my art? Only you can answer those questions. Unfortunately, I can't do that for you. But that is the perspective that you want to start taking and start thinking. This is about a quantum time mindset, you guys. This is about what you are doing to expand your consciousness, expand your vision, and call forth that creative power. And it is about bringing that conscious awareness to the order, not only to what you're doing, but the order that you're doing things in, right? That's really next level stuff. So that's all I have time for today. We'll get into some more tips about how to move those things and how to discern among those things when we get into the repatterning project course. So again, if you're feeling called, you'll know it. You're going to feel that in your body, right? You're going to be watching this going, oh my God, yes, that's exactly what I'm trying to do. Oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed, balancing all of these things. Everything around me in the world is moving so fast. And there is this opportunity for me to catch up and really do some cool, inspiring work. And I want to make sure that I'm on top of that. I want that support. I want to move forward. I want to have those transformations that I see other people around me having. I want to be living that life where I am living my purpose, enjoying, friendships and relationships that are in alignment for me, truly, truly following my bliss and receiving abundance for it and really creating that life that I'm in love with. Coming from that realm, from that perspective of limitless possibility. So what do I need to do to make that happen? If you're feeling that, reach out to me. Let's jump on a call, and we would love to see you. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video.